Today, from Ford Field in Detroit, it's Week 16 of the NFL on EA Sports. It's the Detroit Lions taking on the Seattle Seahawks.
The seating capacity is 65,000 at Ford Field, and we are right around that number today. A good crowd on hand and seemingly ready to go in the Motor City. Both teams emerging from the Ford Field tunnels just a short time ago. And, of course, the loudest cheers were reserved for the hometown Lions. They're set to go as they will match up with the Seattle Seahawks. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
And they will elect to not bring this one out as our first drive will begin at the 25. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. And out will come the leader of this offense, and that, of course, is their signal caller.
And what I loved about meeting with him before the game was talking to a guy who takes ownership of his performance. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions last week, but all he focused on was the loss, okay? And he did say, if I change my stats a little bit, not necessarily for me to look better, but that'll help my team.
Off play action, here's White. Pressure comes, he's taken down by the Seahawk defense. It'll be a loss of 7 on the sack, and it brings up second.
Well, we knew coming in it was going to be a long afternoon if they weren't able to hold up against this pass rush, huh?
What we didn't know was that protection was going to spring a leak on the first play from scrimmage.
Got after him right out of the gate.
A hole to dig out of here, 2nd and 17. Another try after the first down sack. White, and right away, he lost the football. Points 1, 2, and 3 in their defensive game plan was to get to the quarterback and knock the ball free. They did it there. Luckily, offense hangs on to it.
Yeah, that's got to serve as a wake-up call, though, because they can't afford to let the ball go over to the defense and miss opportunities. And I'm not saying it happened here, but you know what a good rule of thumb is when a play like that occurs? You know, usually
under pressure, they got him again. And the defense coming through on 3rd down, a loss of 7 to bring up 4th. CD, there are 3 and outs, and then there are 3 and outs. The first drive of the game, not 1, not 2, but 3 straight sacks.
You're exactly right about that, and sometimes you hold up those 3 fingers as defenders to signify the 3 and out. This time it's 3 sacks in a row. What a tremendous start for them.
And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And he'll take it on this side of midfield. So holding there on the return, and that'll back him up to start the next drive.
Yeah, that's a pretty easy call right there, partner. I think when the officials look in their manual and see the expression, jersey getting pulled, that's a flag coming out every time.
Without the previous penalty, that would have been a first down. Instead, it's just a gain of 10. Options galore here, 2nd and a few inches. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll get it down here to the 43.
Second and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on third down and pick up the first down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendencies. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the first down. That's exactly what they did.
And this one almost intercepted. Not a good throw there. Nearly an opening drive INT. And he's able to carve out about 6 there, down to the 37.
And Charles, you think about this offense, it's kind of a tricky time of the season because you're 14-0, looking to see this one out to the end, but you start to run into situations where guys are getting a little banged up, maybe could use some time.
And this will be caught by Metcalf for a Seahawk touchdown. DK Metcalf with another touchdown, number 24 on the year. And the Seahawks have taken a first-quarter lead. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
Extra point right down the middle. And it's now a 7-0 game. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it all culminates with a Seattle score. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback. Here again comes the captain of this offense leading his crew back out there now. And I guess the question, Charles, is what's the formula for keeping him better protected? Because as we see, the protection, it struggled.
And normally what you get is renewed determination. When the big guy gets hit, that usually sparks people. Hey, we can't let this happen anymore. They take it personally. He's not supposed to be on the ground, but that hasn't been the case so far in this game. So maybe they've got to figure out how do they get rid of the ball faster to help out the offensive line so he doesn't get hit as much.
And we'll see if they can keep him off the ground now going forward. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. First carry for DeAndre Swift. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. Now we're going to get a timeout here as it looks like there's a Seahawk injured on the play. Not something you want to see in Week 16 or any week, really. We'll be right back. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Here's White. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Allen. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. White looks to throw. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. And the corner blitz gets him that time as he goes down for a short loss.
These sacks now, they're starting to pile up, Charles, and that front 7 defensively, they've had their way with this offensive line.
And I think at this stage, we have to start thinking about different play calls. We've got to start helping this quarterback out because the entire game he's been under siege. I don't care what the down and distance. They've got to get the ball out of his hands a lot quicker.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. And taken right on the 30. And fights through one man. So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. So the special teams penalty cost some yardage there as they come out on 1st and 10. And to give this time to the tailback. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through. But that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5. They fake the handoff, now Locke. He'll buy some time right. Catch is made by Metcalf. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. Solid catch there for a man who's been so brilliant this year. Worth pointing out, as we were talking about earlier, there has never in the 60-year history of the award been a pass catcher, tight end or wide receiver that has taken home the MVP trophy.
And the best receivers I've talked with, they know that stat, and it drives them crazy because they understand that without a quarterback, they don't make the plays that they make. They also don't feel like they get enough credit for bailing out some of the throws that quarterbacks make.
Absolutely. Takes 2 to tango. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They look to throw. It's Locke. Steps away. There goes a deep ball. End zone. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawks touchdown. A great effort there. His 14th touchdown now on the year. And the Seahawks have taken a 13-0 first quarter lead.
If you didn't know it, it won't surprise you to find out that this team leads the league in scoring. They've been a quick strike team all season long. There's another example. They did it again. This offensive coordinator, right now, you can write his ticket towards being a head coach. He's advanced in the ways of offense.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that'll make the score 14-0. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
And it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt a return.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive.
And, Charles, you look at these two teams, these are those kind of litmus test games in the second half of the season that if you're a coach or a player, you can either really look forward to them or really dread them, depending on your point of view.
And if you're dreading them, you're not going to go very far in the playoffs. You need to look forward to these kind of games because here we've got two division leaders, both real contenders for the NFC title. And you're right, you love having easy games on your schedule, but you need some games like this to toughen you up a bit and ensure that you're ready for the shock of playoff football.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here, 2nd and a yard from the 34. A play fake, now White.
They're going back to the same well. It's Hockenson again.
When you struggle on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. On 1st and 10, White. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. To throw, White. And this one is going to be off the mark, too far out in front.
They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Now White. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 30. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Now White. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 24. And he'll get this back to the 32-yard line. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. Not something you want to see in Week 16 or any week, really. We'll be right back. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed, and he's able to get to the second level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers, and they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. Second down. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. On play action, Locke. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And that would get a right-up incomplete. Nearly an interception in the end zone. Probably should have been. Third down coming up. And they'll need the 39 here for a first. This is third down. To throw it is Locke. Escaping the pressure right. So no sack. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, but it'll still bring up a fourth down.
And while he did a good job of sliding around in the pocket, there was nowhere to go with the football, so he had to take off and try and run. He just got back to the line of scrimmage, no gain.
On fourth down, ready to punt, Michael Dixon. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. And that one hits at the 7, but bounds into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate, and of course they'd like to forget the inning, the interception, but they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done. This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. It came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
To throw again on second down. White over the middle, complete. It's Allen. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also third down. White. Catch is made by Hockenson, the tight end. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. They call it a loss of a yard there. And that's going to bring up a fourth down. On fourth down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. And this ball's going to be down now right at the 10-yard line. Good spot. So they'll play the field position game here as a very nice punt is going to pin them back.
Yeah, it's almost like watching a game of tennis, or do you prefer ping pong? You know, back and forth like that? But it definitely was excellent, wasn't it?
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And defensively, they're just looking to keep him contained as they're able to get him down. A good run, got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And that's caught inside the 35. And he gets all the way down to the 30-yard line. A big play there just before halftime. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. It'll be a 47-yard attempt from the left hash. And this one is right down Broadway. So we've come upon halftime with the visiting Seahawks. They're out in front. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. The weather might be cold, but the playoff races are heating up here on this final Sunday before Christmas. So let's get to it. We'll start our tour out in the City of Angels, Los Angeles. And as you see, they were winners back on Thursday night. The Rams get a vital win there as they move to 8-7 with 2 games left to go. From there, we move to H-Town to check on the Texans at home at NRG Stadium. And they have the lead in that one over the visiting Raiders. Deshaun Watson has thrown a touchdown pass. Finally, we're off to Atlanta to check on the Falcons at home at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And that one all tied against the visiting Steelers. In the game you're watching, it's been Drew Lock with a strong first half. His guys have the lead as we get you back up to Ford Field in Detroit and hand it back over to Brandon Godden.
All right, Coach, thanks very much. Fine work as always as we welcome you back for quarter number 3.
The Seahawks with the advantage, and they get the football first as the second half is underway.
And the half will begin with a touchback. The Seahawk offense set to go to begin this third quarter. And Charles, they've got the lead. Put your coaching hat on here now. What's the game plan for the second half?
I think getting the running game going a little bit more, because I thought in the first half they didn't get it moving the way that they would like. They had success throwing it, but I think these first couple of drives, they'll want to get those running backs going and give them more opportunities, and I will guarantee you that those guys were lobbying for them in the locker room at halftime.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. And he'll give it here to his running back. And not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
He's going to fire one deep over the middle. A leap, and he's got it. He got it. And they finally get him down, but not before he reaches the 34. It's a big play there for Seattle.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30.
Here's Locke. Rolling to his right. Caught right side, Tate. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down. Now a play fake, and here's Locke. Going to throw deep for the end zone. And it'll be intercepted. Able to get there and pick it.
And the Lions are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line.
So it was a drive that had real promise here to begin the third quarter, but ultimately derailed by the INT.
And that was the position you wanted to be in. Coming out to start this third quarter, get a nice drive going, looking for the end zone. Possibly got a little bit too greedy right there.
A gain of 3, 2nd down.
Once again, it's Swift.
Takes this to the 27. Give him 4 yards.
Well, they certainly have been able to get him going and establish the run, so I think it's time to abandon that plan and start chucking it all over the park. And you know who's excited about that? The defensive front. They got to just pin their ears back and get after him now.
And he is not going to get the first down as they'll spot this at about the 28. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down. So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. They'll score that a 36-yard punt, and it'll be Seahawk football 1st and 10. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team...
And that's caught inside the 35. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. Now that's one they hate. The ball's got to come all the way back.
So that's an explosive play, a really explosive play that gets wiped out, and they have to start over after the penalty.
He's going to take another shot here. And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. 2nd down. Throwing on 2nd and long. Locke. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. It'll go as a loss of about 6, and now it brings up 3rd.
Now Charles dealing with a 3rd and long. They'll have to try to go back to the air again, and this time avoid the sack.
Certainly hard to try to establish momentum when all you're doing is going backwards, not protecting the passer, and he gets dumped on his backside.
And this is, oh my goodness, he pulled it in one-handed. And they finally do get him, but not before he reaches the 27. It's a big play there for Seattle. So that changes things in a big way. Now from all the way down inside the 30, here's 1st and 10. Going for it all. End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. A great play there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Seahawks are able to extend their lead in the final seconds of this 3rd quarter. Point after, right down the middle. And the lead is now 24. So that drive, 4 plays. And the Seahawks capping it off with a touchdown. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line. Detroit's offense ready to take over. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Back to throw. White. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Call it a loss of 5, a big sack to bring up 3rd down. Looking to throw. White. He's going to get that to Swift underneath. And he'll be brought down at the 28, and that is well short of the 1st. He did his best to just get 4 out of that, but not enough. And now 4th down. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. Rolling to his left. The Lions turned away on 4th down. And the Seahawks, they'll get the football back in outstanding field position. Well, at this stage of the game in the 2nd half, down 3 scores, I guess they felt like they needed to push.
And let's face it, with this deficit, if they give up another score here after they didn't get it, does it really matter?
Right.
It really doesn't. They had to go and try and make something happen if they had any chance of winning this game.
And it is incomplete. Good positioning there downfield to break that one up.
Under 4 to go now as they come up on 2nd down. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And a pretty good run as he'll get this down close to a 1st at the Lions' 24. 52 yards rushing for him now to this point. The Seahawks on 3rd down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 2. Going to give this time to the tailback. And he's going to get the 1st down here as he's taken down at the 22.
Well, I don't think there's any question, Brandon, at this stage, the stop troops, the defensive guys, they've got to use their 3 timeouts here. They've got to stop them and get the ball back.
Yeah, if you're in that 2 to 3 score deficit window that they're in now, you got to get it ASAP.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Stop them, use your timeouts. Easier to move the ball on offense without timeouts than to stop them on defense without using them.
Block off of play action.
And that is incomplete. Nearly intercepted. The free safety couldn't quite get his hands around it, and it brings up 3rd down.
I didn't like the look of that play right from the beginning. I thought he should have seen the coverage that was there, tried to force it in. That one, he's fortunate, just fell incomplete.
And that'll be incomplete. Now, they took their shot, but the coverage up to the task, and it forces a 4th down.
And his kick here is good. And the lead increases even further. It's 27-0 now. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25.
The Lions offense heading out as we give you a look at the playoff race coming into the weekend in the NFC.
And you see a lot of frustrated faces as they are inching closer to a fourth straight loss.
Now White with a first down throw. Open man, he's got him, the tight end Hockenson. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. From the gun, White. He's got Allen. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. From the shotgun, here's White. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line.
Well, to me, this leads to the question, do you admire the way he puts his body out there all the time, or do you think he should protect himself a little bit more?
Well, he's been on the ground several times with all those sacks that he's taken. So, I don't know. I kind of admire him not sliding down there, don't you?
I'm with you on that one. The meter definitely leans towards admiration.
On 1st down, it's White. And the Seahawk defense gets to him, and they bring him down. It'll be a loss of 7 on the sack, and it brings up 2nd.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury.
We've seen that the deep ball's been a part of their game plan all afternoon, but they've had trouble hooking up on it, unable to successfully find the end zone over the top.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Ball had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. Now they go for it on 4th, but this one is going to wind up incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Seahawks are going to take over the football. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Now a handoff here to his running back, and he's going to bowl his way forward to the 48.
60 yards on the ground for him so far.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line.
Most of their damage has been done through the air. I mean, they've rung the bell 3 times with passing touchdowns, but guess what? Ground game has not been neglected. Nice little burst right there.
A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
I know that every now and then we get in those meetings with coaches, and you almost want to roll your eyes when they talk about staying on schedule when they're moving the football. But would you say a 7-yard run is ahead of schedule?
4th quarter with the lead, you love that, don't you?
No doubt about it, because staying on schedule is trying to get 4 downs on 1st down. They did that plus 3.
And a timeout comes in. The whistles blow with 3 seconds remaining. Oh, now look at this. They're lining up to add 3 more. Little insult to injury here late in the game. From the left hash, this will be a 52-yard attempt. And the kick is good. So you wonder how this one might be remembered the next time these two teams meet. But until then, this game's over. So the victory here for Seattle. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense is they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one. And that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, off a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So for the Seahawks,
they are now 2 wins away from a perfect regular season as they run their mark to 15-0 on the year.
And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Mile High to take on the Broncos. Meanwhile, for the Lions, their playoff hopes take a big hit as they fall to 8-7.